cosmic breath, the air element. Find strength in the mental, the thought behind the rhymes consequential. The flow's decked in space boots, leaping over lunar tombs. Write lyrics in runes and play the muse. Inspire fate to paint predestinations, landscapes. For the awakened imaginations are stargates. We're still a listening, a pilgrim of the house of the wind. I'm the emissary, hearing voices in the breeze, observing every commentary.
Hip-hop is ubiquitous in the global sphere, existing in almost every country in the world. Born in the 1970s in the South Bronx, New York, from the depths of urban despair, crime, drugs, and racial animosity, hip-hop from its inception was a revolutionary tool for personal transformation and social change. A conspicuous and far-reaching cultural and political export that has been appropriated in almost every country on the planet, hip-hop has been used as a vehicle to empower youth and raise social consciousness in underprivileged and marginalized communities throughout the world. Hip-hop is an interdisciplinary culture comprised of 5 pillars: music, as represented through electronic DJing and turntablism; poetry, communicated through the dynamic lyricism of rapping and MCs; visual art, displayed through colorful graffiti and murals; body movement, celebrated with breakdancing; and personal empowerment achieved through knowledge of self. Built with the ethics of community, authenticity, and social justice, hip-hop has created a shared language to validate people and advance a spiritual aesthetic. The culture of hip-hop has been a vast juxtaposition of contradictory morals: social justice versus misogyny and materialism, freedom and equality versus sexism, female objectification and violence, consciousness versus capitalism and corporate greed. Though ostensibly a male-dominated field, hip-hop has seen a slow rise in female MCs, known as femcees, throughout the decades. Paving the road for female representation and empowerment in hip-hop are legendary pioneers such as Roxanne Shanti, Lady B, Salt and Peppa, Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, and Lil' Kim. We will now take a look at some of the current female hip-hop artists active in spreading a powerful, positive message around the globe. We will start with Africa. Ethnomusicologist and African feminist historian Sia Kibona Clark recently published the seminal book, Hip Hop in Africa. In discussing the lack of female representation in African hip hop, Ms. Clark states, quote, "The absence of a larger presence of African women's voices within hip hop weakens hip hop's ability to call itself a true voice of the people. If hip hop is to convey the story of a people, without women, part of that story is missing. While it is important that hip hop contributes critique to public policies and social discourse, the danger is that if women's voices are missing, then challenges to politics and social practices that oppose and oppress women are neglected within that critique." Despite underrepresentation, there are several prominent women in the African hip hop scene, 2 of which I will now discuss. Yugen Blackrock is an underground hip hop artist from Johannesburg, South Africa. Deliberately shunning mainstream commercial hip hop, her profound lyrical narratives derive inspiration from spirituality, metaphysics, Black consciousness, and ancient world cultures. Approached by Kendrick Lamar to be a part of the Black Panther soundtrack, this collaboration catapulted her into an internationally acclaimed artist. For the movie, she contributed to the track Ops with the following rhymes: "Look inside the brain, it's a riot in the psych ward. What are you standing on the side for? Roar like a lioness, punch like a cyborg. Spit slick, attack is subliminal. Flowers on my mind, but the rhyme style sinister." Also in Africa, Muthoni the Drummer Queen is a rapper, singer, percussionist, and pioneering entrepreneur from Nairobi, Kenya, where a do-it-yourself artistic culture exists that is flourishing despite the lack of foreign investment in the music scene there. Muthoni is featured in the recently released Boiler Room documentary, True Music Africa, Nairobi, the New Narrative. Due to a lack of viable performance avenues for artists in Nairobi, Muthoni created her own, founding the Africa New and Blankets and Wine music festivals. Muthoni has notably been selected to be a 2019 TED Fellow, stating on social media, quote, "After 10 years in the music industry, it is clear that the creative sector is a legit manufacturing industry in Africa," end quote. Moving to the Middle East, Leila Ajawi is a graffiti artist and muralist who lives in a Palestinian refugee camp in Irbid, Jordan. Her grandparents were part of the mass exodus out of Palestine during the Nakba, which is Arabic for catastrophe, in the Arab-Israeli conflict in 1948. Like Leila, both of her parents were born in refugee camps. Her murals center around themes of female empowerment and social activism, as well as drawing attention to the displacement and humanity of refugees. During the day, she works for an NGO, and in her free time, she uses her energy to create vibrant, powerful art pieces. Female street artists are rare in the Middle East, where women are often at risk by even entering public spaces. But Leila does not let fear hold her back. In addition to murals in Jordan, she has painted a mural of survivors of gender-based violence in a Syrian refugee camp. Her murals have been featured with Women on Walls, a collective of female street artists located in the Middle East. The next artist we will explore is Suboi, the first female rapper from Vietnam, who is also known as Vietnam's Queen of Hip Hop. Growing up in the repressive culture of communist Vietnam, she has learned to write lyrics with double meanings in order to evade government censorship when rapping about sensitive subjects. She made history when in 2016 at a town hall with then President Obama in Ho Chi Minh City, she asked him about the importance of arts and culture to a nation. He responded by asking her to rap, which she did. Obama also offered up an attempt at beatboxing. Obama then responded to her question, poignantly stating, "Let's be honest, sometimes art is dangerous, and that's why governments sometimes get nervous about art. But one of the things that I truly believe is that if you try to suppress the arts, then I think you're suppressing the deepest dreams and aspirations of a people." Suboi's lyrics are generally reflective of issues about life, love, and culture, and steer clear of politics. The Vietnamese government is notoriously intolerant of political dissent, and bloggers and human rights activists are at risk of being arrested and beaten if they criticize the government. Suboi has stated that she views censorship as an artistic challenge, but has been successful at writing poetically intelligent lyrics that circumvent this problem. The final artist I will discuss is Mona Haider, a Syrian-American rapper, poet, and activist who grew up in Flint, Michigan, and currently resides in Morocco. Celebrating her Muslim identity unashamedly, Haider and her husband started the, quote, Ask a Muslim, quote, initiative in Cambridge, Massachusetts. They set up a stand with signs that read, "Talk to a Muslim, free conversation, free coffee and donuts," in order to encourage loving and open dialogue and to dispel prejudice and fear against the Muslim community. In 2017, Haider released Hijabi, Rap My Hijab, which was hailed by Billboard magazine as one of 2017's top protest songs, and they later named it one of the top 25 feminist anthems of all time. As stated on Haider's website, quote, "Her sound is deeply rooted in her intersectional identity and sensibilities." Hip-hop is indeed ubiquitous in the global sphere, existing in almost every country in the world. The rise of femcees is an exciting progression of a mostly male-dominated industry, as women contribute a necessary voice and perspective to this revolutionary and transformative culture, particularly in marginalized and oppressed populations. Though revolutionary movements often do not produce the desired political outcome, it is nevertheless imperative that artists continue to speak up for the disempowered people of this planet, spreading a message of love, hope, and progress through their collaborations and creations. As noted by author Jay Kwan, as each generation gives birth to new batches of political thinkers, hip-hop will continue to be a tool which artists can sharpen, refine, and wield against whatever society throws at them. Hip-hop will continue to grow and evolve, helping to transform global culture in the 21st century. Despite their best efforts, no dictatorship or totalitarian regime can stop the flow of spiritual knowledge, artistic evolution, and social progress.
I've been stacking my karma, Nefertiti, no drama. Make a feminist planet, woman haters get banished. Covered up or not, don't ever take us for granted. All around the world, love women every shade and be so liberated. All around the world, love women every shade and power run deep. So even if you hate it, I still